All right, as I mentioned, I'm tying flies back to back to back to back today. So this is the second fly I'm tying tonight. This fly goes by a lot of different names, but my favorite is the girdle bug. It also goes by like the Pabst rubber leg. It's definitely out west. This fly is great. I love this fly. You can add different weights of wraps. You can do a lot of different things with this fly. It's super simple. It takes a couple minutes to tie. And I would just stock your box with probably 5 or 6 of these. You can also tie them in different colors, but that's up to you. So grab your beer, like I have behind me still, and your fly box, and grab your tying materials, and let's get started. All right, back like we never left. We are tying the Pabst rubber leg or the girdle bug, whichever way you want to call it. Start with a small thread base. Doesn't have to go all the way back. Then you come up, cut off the excess, cut off around 1.5 inches of wire. Thicker wire works a little bit better because then you don't have to wrap it as much and you don't have to use as much of it. And then you're just gonna wrap this to the eye of the hook. This does not have to look great. It's really just there to add some weight to the fly. And it's going to be hidden underneath the fly as well. I'm gonna add a little bit more because I didn't quite cut off 1.5 inches. Alrighty. So you're gonna come back over with your thread. Just make sure that's nice and tight, and you got this wire caught. Again, this fly is not pretty. It's not meant to be pretty, but it works. Okay, so now you're gonna grab your legs. People keep asking to put the ingredients in, so this is just a speckled leg. These are like a black and olive. Really any legs will work. So to get started, you're going to take 2 legs. These are just separated into halves. You're going to take those 2 and cut it. Now you're going to take these 2 halves here, fold this in half, and then cut that in half. So now, if you're using an entire leg, you can just cut them into 4ths and you're fine. So you're going to take the back, it's going to be the tail. An easy trick, make a V with it, attach it to your line or your thread, just pull that tight. So now it's in there. And you want this to face backwards, so wrap down the shank of the hook so it faces backwards. And now you're just going to go in between them. That way you're pulling them apart. Okie dokie, cool. So now that's the tail, and you come up with your thread to about mid-body. You're going to take another 4th. You're going to lay it flat across the top of the shank of the hook. Wrap over it. Attach that in. And figure 8 it similar to how you did the clouser. You're going to take another set of legs. You're going to come up about 1 millimeter. You're going to tie in the other set of legs right in front of these. You're tying in the antenna. Now, I find it easier to tie the antenna in 2 parts. So you're going to take that 1/4, divide that into half, so you have an 1/8. You tie in the right one, and you put in the left one. You put it on either side of the hook eye. That one just jumped off of there. And grab him. We all make mistakes. Alright, so you're just going to wrap these in on either side of the eye of the hook. And tighten that down. Okie dokie. So now you're going to move your thread back to the back, making sure not to trap any of these legs. You're going to take some chenille. You can use any type of chenille you want. This is just like a black, almost like a woolly bugger chenille with some sparkle in it. You can tie this in here in the back. Again, careful not to trap any of your legs back there. Cool. And bring your thread back up. Don't trap any legs. Alright. Alright, so you're going to trim off this little tag end of the chenille and wrap it opposite direction of the way you wrapped the thread. Also, if you're noticing while I'm wrapping this, I don't have a fancy vise. This is my travel vise. I bought this back in college many years ago. It's something that I tie on a ton because when you're traveling, you can't take your really nice vise with you all the time. This has a nice little travel box. It was like $40 from Cabela's. Gets the job done. Alright, so now you wrap this chenille up. You're just going to secure it, like 2 or 3 wraps. Cut it. Make some more securing wraps up front. And whip finish it in. Again, when you whip finish, don't trap those legs or the antenna in there. And then I like to hit this with a little bit of head cement, Sally Hansen, something, just to make sure that thread doesn't break. And that's it. You can tie this in a lot of different colors, different styles. You can put a bead head, you can make them different weights. This is a great fly to just get that line down to the feeding zone and catch you a ton of fish. So let me know what you think. If you turn it, this isn't a rotary vise like my other vise, but I'll pick it up. It looks just like a stonefly. Enjoy. So it's that simple to tie a girdle bug. Why I like the girdle bug is really, if you're tying a stonefly pattern, you have to get the tail to line up correctly. You have to get the legs to line up. You have to layer, feathers as you're coming up, typically, and you have to create a nice back. And to be honest, like a lot of the stonefly nymph patterns out there, they don't have a ton of movement. So stoneflies are pretty big. They can be from like 1/2 inch up to about 2 inches. So they do have some movement, and they don't tumble as much as nymphs do, and they do swim slightly. So you want to have movement in your fly. Blaine Chocolate, he ties like a 3-inch stonefly hellgrammite, like articulated fly. With the girdle bug, use way less material. It's a lot easier to tie than tying a big stonefly nymph by layering feathers and having different legs. And to be honest, like, it probably catches more fish. So it's a simple tie. Give it a try next time you're out in the water. If your streams have hellgrammites or stoneflies or just big nymphs in it, give it a shot. I like black, and then also like a brown or like a tan color. You can also tie it in a rust color. The rust and light / dark brown work really well with stock trap. The reason being is it might give off almost like a food pellet vibe. It might be cheating, but it just is what it is in today's world. So give it a shot. Let us know what you think. The next fly is my personal favorite streamer fly. So stay tuned. Stay smooth.